Hi, everybody, it's Jessica. In today's quick video, I'm just explaining the value of merging. I feel like I went over that just too fast this week. And even in my summary video, I might have even skipped it. So I just want to devote a little bit of attention because merging is more of a visual than, say, a executable like a function. So you can't merge two cells that already have data. So like this 10 and 8, I don't know why I would, but if I wanted to merge it, Google Sheets is basically going to be confused. And it says, heads up, if we do this, I'm only going to keep the top leftmost value. So in this case, the 10. So I can click OK and see that it merged the two, but just said, I don't know what to do with the 8, so I'm going to keep the 10, and thus ruined my data. It's not accurate anymore, is it? So I'm going to undo that. You can only merge data that is in empty, I shouldn't say data. You can only merge cells that happens to be empty. And you can't even merge empty cells that are, say, frozen or have been filtered. So it really has to just be two empty cells. So your next logical question probably is, well, then why would I want to do that at all? Like, what's the big deal? Check this out. So I think of merging cells as a way to give a visual reference appeal, if you will, to my sheet. It helps my eye organize visually the data. So check this out. In my example here, the pre-test is an assessment. The post-test is an assessment. But this stuff in the middle, this is an activity. And if you didn't know that, you might actually have a hard time figuring out what is this? Matter of fact, in one of my videos, I had used this particular spreadsheet and I had a student ask, what is this even a visual depiction of? Like, what is this stuff in the middle? And I realized I could use a merged cell to help give some definition. So check this out. I'm going to click in this cell, then click Insert, Row Above. And then in cell C1, I'm going to type lab because this was a lab activity. Okay, so here it sits. But notice by default, it's sitting in just cell C1. So it really doesn't visually explain that this whole section is a single activity done in one, say, 90-minute class period. So I would like to merge all of these cells right here. And only one of the cells contains data, so I can do that. So I'm going to go ahead and I've highlighted all the cells I want merged, and I will click merge. And now the entire row here, this section, all of these cells have merged into one large cell. And then I'm going to center this just so my eye is happy with how this looks. So I've centered it vertically and or horizontally, and I'm going to also center it vertically. So now my eye is like, okay, that's a little bit better, but I'm going to step this up a notch and now highlight this whole section, and using the paint bucket tool, I'll fill it with a different color. So now my eye knows with just a quick glance that this is indeed a lab activity. So that's a really good example of how you can use merging to be able to give your spreadsheet some visual definition that your readers, you or your partners, whomever you're showing this to, right, can quickly look and be able to see what sections of data are. It also will help you to look for trends in your data with a little bit more ease because you actually understand what these rows or columns are referencing. Columns C through K are clearly part of a lab activity. But without that header, without that merged cell, you would never know. So there you go. Hopefully that gives you a little more understanding as to the value of merging cells and how you can use it to make your spreadsheet just a little bit easier to read and process.